Hello. You may think me dressed peculiar for an event such as this. However, from my hat down to my blue suede shoes, you will begin to see why this represents my brain. Growing up in West Denver, I was considered one of the smartest kids in the school. That was probably the least popular thing you could be. My constant friends were my Elvis Presley obsession, my collections, my Olympic and Hollywood fantasies, and my goals, my lofty goals. When I was still in grade school when Congress decided it was time to let women into the military academies. Right there and then, I said, I'm going to the Air Force Academy, and I began my preparation. I purchased a rucksack from the surplus store, and I would load all my books every day, whether I needed them for homework or not, and I'd run that half mile to and from school. Later on in high school, I put another nail in my social coffin by joining JROTC. Well, I was trying to reach my goal. It didn't work out for me to go to the Air Force Academy. After spending my first freshman year at Brown, I took some time off and earned some money and decided to go to the Colorado School of Mines. At School of Mines, I studied engineering geophysics, and I also started Army ROTC, and when I graduated in '87, I was commissioned into the U.S. Army and served my time in the Army Corps of Engineers. I thought, thank you. I thought that going to a school which at that time the ratio of men to co-eds, as they called us, was 5-to-1. And I knew I'd have to work twice as hard to be considered half as good. And I thought I had prepared myself for my career that I'd been looking forward to for most of my life at this point. I was in for a big shock. It wasn't 5-to-1, it was 36-to-1. I was put in charge of a platoon of 36 men who were bent not to work for a woman. Sexual harassment was a constant. And when a sexual assault happened and eventually I reported it, I was told, "You're just trying to ruin another good NCO." PTSD that I did not know I had set in. I knew I was depressed, but I didn't know anything else. I soon dropped out of medical school. About a month later, I couldn't concentrate. The focus was totally gone. However, I tried to trudge on. I still had my friends, and my fantasies taunted me like it was cruel as I gained more and more weight, becoming what they told me I was when they flagged me for being overweight. Eventually, I went through 31 jobs in the next 12 years before I was diagnosed. And I want to do a little aside here. I had a lot of suicidal ideation. And right now there are 22 veterans a day taking their own lives. And from my experience, I think it's because of a lack of purpose, a lack of esteem. Because I couldn't find no purpose for me. I went through engineering school because I had the ability and I could, so I thought I should, but I didn't have a passion for it. And since I didn't have a passion, going through all these jobs, I couldn't find purpose. Until 2007, when I started doing performing arts as recreation, therapeutic recreation. And I realized I had a passion. Yeah, and I helped her. Yeah. Henry's young security. Yeah. Think Linus. Yeah, but her don't let me drive. Well, you can't reach the pedals and you don't have a driver's license. Yes, I do. I have a license. It's right here. It's a license tag, Henry. No, it's a license. But Henry, a license, driver's license has your face on it. But they don't need my face because it's right here. Okay, that's enough, Henry. Anyway, it became an outlet, and everyone Henry meets would smile. Most everyone. A few people were a little afraid, but most everyone he meets, he brings them a smile, and also he helps me with my anxiety and whatnot. By 2011, I was also, I had gastric bypass as a tool to lose the weight, and I was finally able to start doing sports again. So my fantasies that I thought were always a fantasy started to be my passion. And I thought, I can help out in rec therapy. And I started the process to volunteer. And by 2011, my passion was becoming a purpose. But also in 2011, another veteran decided he needed to be everywhere I was. And it started to get really creepy. He started stalking me. And then I was told, and then all my group therapies, he suddenly needed. I ended up getting a permanent restraining order against this man as a stalker, but the VA said he's a veteran. We can't refuse him treatment, and it's your choice not to share a space with him. So after fighting this for 3 years, I finally moved about 100 miles away. And all the stress of this caused my lupus to flare up, and I had been volunteering with adaptive sports, and now I needed to start doing adaptive sports myself. Adaptive Adventures was first. This here is a dragon boat medal. I did a lot of other solo sports, and I've won several medals for those, but I'm finding that the team sports, getting the camaraderie, seems to be even more therapeutic. And for me, about a little less than 3 years ago, something happened. I mean, being a military sexual trauma survivor and then being re-triggered by the stalking, the last thing I wanted to do is be around men, especially military men. But then about 3 years ago, I was introduced to sled hockey. A full contact sport in my second half century of life. With a bunch of military men. And I find it so therapeutic. Who'd have thunk it? Sled hockey.